Have you ever got to the end of a working day and just thought, oh my goodness, thank God that's over? What a nightmare. Well, I recommend you carry on listening because this could be the podcast for you to demonstrate that stressful work experiences aren't real. Hello, I'm Luke Richardson, creator of a crazy little thing called Thought Podcast. It's lovely to have you here. If you are listening, I very much appreciate it. This is episode 11, Ignoring Your Workplace Stress Nightmare. Now, let's talk about, first of all, we've just entered October, haven't we? It's October the 6th today, and Halloween is approaching. So what better month to talk about horror films and nightmares and try to demonstrate to you the fiction of them, basically. So if you were to go to a movie theatre and pay to see the latest horror film this month, you're probably likely to buy a ticket for that movie because you know consciously that the movie will end after, say, 90 minutes or 2 hours, however long the film is. And you consciously know also that what you're about to watch is an experience. It's not real. You'll go through the roller coaster of the man chasing the lady with the knife, and the Frankenstein coming to life, that kind of thing. You know that your experience isn't real, and when the movie's finished, you'll leave the theatre knowing that was just a temporary scary experience. And you might think about the film afterwards when you're trying to sleep at night and can't sleep. But eventually, as time moves on, you'll come to terms with how ridiculous you're probably being, and you'll be back to you'll be back to your life, and moving on from that experience. Where in the workplace now, what I'm trying to articulate, what I'm trying to describe here is what's different between going to a movie theatre and going to work. Because you could forgive yourself for having a scary experience at a horror film because it's just, what it's just something you're experiencing while you're watching the movie. Whereas at work, if you're feeling that stress and tension, you start to get a bit annoyed about it, especially when you're experiencing that throughout the day, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, week after week, and we get trapped in it mentally, and we get stressed and anxious, and it becomes, as I described at the start of the podcast recording, a nightmare for us. Now, if we can understand, I've explained this in previous podcasts as well, podcast records as well, so if you're interested in hearing more of these recordings, feel free to check my library archive and listen to any more that might interest you. But we live in a world of thought, we live in a world of thinking, and that thinking flows through us, not at us. So in other words, there is nothing in the outside world that can mould how we think and feel. Now, if we can go into our jobs, into our workplaces, knowing that the experience we're going to have there is just a temporary illusion, no different to what you'd experience in a horror movie in a cinema or the movie theatre, then that brings the power back to you again. Because if you are experiencing nightmarish experiences, then you don't blame it on the job, you don't blame it on the boss, you don't blame it on the colleague, you don't blame it on the nightmarish spreadsheets you've had to go through all day. You know that regardless of that, all you've done your job is various tasks that have accomplished things, maybe have not accomplished things, and the experience was irrespective of all of that. It was neutral, it had no roots. So you could just see that day as just a nightmare experience. And the good thing about nightmares is we can wake up from them, can't we? We can wake up, we can wake up from a nightmare and be all sweating and look at our spouses or talk to ourselves and go, oh my God, thank God that was just a dream. You can take that outlook on a day at work as well. You can leave the office, you can leave the construction site, you can leave the supermarket or your retail job, or if you work in a cinema theatre, it was a bit of a hellish day as well. You can leave that knowing that you just experienced a temporary illusion that means nothing about the day at work, it means nothing about you, and that's really, really freeing indeed. I used to be a project manager. I'll tell you a story now. I've got plenty of them, so if you are enjoying these podcasts, keep recording. I'll happily give you some more stories about my experiences in work. I used to be a project manager. Now, I don't want to insult your intelligence that you already know that a project manager is quite a stressful job, and I would have a lot of stressful days in my previous career as a project manager, and I would blame outside circumstances for my experience. I blame other people. I'd blame suppliers letting me down. I'd blame the clients I was working with. I worked from home a lot during COVID times. I blame my family for being disruptive. I couldn't concentrate on my work. You name it. I blame my experience on it, and it's very hard to catch it in the moment. It's normally after the experiences have happened, I think, oh yeah, that again. It got me, as it gets you. It's only now time has passed that I've learnt this understanding a lot more deep, and I'm trying to teach you guys that I've looked at it with different eyes. I've kind of looked at it with a bit of, not to say embarrassment about it, but a lot of, how could I have been so stupid to have fallen for that trick again, that horror movie, and blamed it on everyone else but me who was generating it. Now, maybe you can relate to that. Maybe you're in a stressful job too. Maybe you're in a job where you're on the, I guess maybe you're in a job where, if we're talking about movies and box sets and that kind of thing, maybe in a job where each episode and each movie in the collection of days, the collection of films, is the same one that you're experiencing over and over again. Now, if you're watching a horror movie in your going back a few years now, for any older listeners, if you have a horror movie within your VCR or your DVD player, for instance, metaphorically, all you have to do is turn the DVD player off, and the horror movie stops. That DVD player or VCR for us is our mental thinking about the horror film. If we can learn to turn that horror film off at work and ignore it, switch the damn thing off, it frees us to thrive in our job. It frees us to get perspective about our job. It frees us to have better relationships at work. It frees us to not be worried about our deadline. It frees us to have clarity, have a blank mind and think, is this job right for me, or do I need to move on? In other words, making that life-changing decision to move jobs with a clear head, without it being a knee-jerk reaction, like something you might regret. It's huge, and if you can ignore that horror movie, you will reap all the benefits of what I've just described there. Now, don't take my word for it. If you're in a stressful job, like I've just described, try it this week. If you are getting stressed, try your best to see deeply within you that what you're experiencing isn't you. You are much bigger than that experience, and you have all you need internally to get through the working day. As I say, if you are interested in hearing any more of these audio recordings, if they're very helpful to you, that's great. Drop me a comment about it, about what you might think. Send me an email. It's onethought1988@gmail.com. If you are interested in any one-to-one coaching, for example, I'll also paste a link to my website and a link to my YouTube channel, so you can also get me there if you wanted to as well. And yeah, I'm going to do a lot more recordings, and watch this space. There's a lot more to come. But yeah, if you are watching a horror film this October, if you're watching a horror film mentally at work this October, turn the DVD player or the VCR player off. Horror films are only meant for Halloween. They're not meant for you to experience mentally in the workplace. Hope that makes sense to you. Hope it helped you. And I'll see you on the next one. Appreciate you being here. It means a lot to me. Take care now. Bye-bye.